Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare and sometimes self-care. So if that's your vibe, please consider hitting subscribe. And today I want to do a special edition of This or That between three popular Korean sunscreens. I want to compare the Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel against the Beauty of Joseon Rice Plus Probiotics Sunscreen against the SKIN1004 Hyalu-Cica Water Fit Sun Serum. All three are elegant chemical sunscreens offering SPF 50 protection, and all three are very popular, but this video is really here to help you decide which one is the best for you. Now, heads up, today's video is sponsored by SKIN1004. They are a K-beauty brand that really focuses on the power of centella in skincare. And as always, all these opinions are my own. So if you guys are so ready for the this or that, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. Let's start with an ingredient comparison between all three sunscreens. Now, as I mentioned, all three are considered chemical sunscreens and they are offering SPF 50 protection, and all three have been independently verified for that SPF protection. Let's start with the Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel. This is using 6 different chemical filters to achieve the SPF protection, and it is a mix between the older generation filters and newer generation filters. And with the older generation, you know, they've just been around a little bit longer. They do sometimes have a reputation for being a little bit unstable, a little unphotostable. And this is where you hear a lot of times where chemical filters can sometimes irritate sensitive skin. A lot of that is chalked up to the older generation filters. Now, newer generation filters are newer. They're newer technology and they're new and improved. So they're kind of taking some of the drawbacks of the older filters and improving upon that. They are more photostable and they are less likely to irritate sensitive skin. So it's interesting to see that there's a mix being used in here. Now, other things of note, there are no essential oils, artificial fragrance, or any denatured alcohol anywhere here in the formula. Now let's move on to the Beauty of Joseon Rice Plus Probiotics Sunscreen. This uses 4 different chemical filters, and the unique thing here is that they're all new generation chemical filters. So they're going to be more photostable, more elegant, and less likely to irritate sensitive skin. And I do find this to be kind of unique because the Isntree, we do often see that in K-beauty, like a mixture of the older generation and the newer generation filters. Here we're seeing the use of newer generation filters like Tinosorb M and some really exciting stuff here. So I do like this formulation. I think it's a little bit more modern, if you will. And I think that this could be an option for those who do have sensitive skin. You know, those newer generation chemical filters less likely to irritate the skin or to irritate the delicate thin skin around the eye area. And the Beauty of Joseon does not contain any essential oils, artificial fragrance, or denatured alcohol. So the SKIN1004 Hyalu-Cica Water Fit Sun Serum uses 4 chemical sunscreens. And now sharp eyes are going to notice these are the exact same chemical filters that are being used in the Beauty of Joseon sunscreen, meaning this is an all new generation chemical sunscreen, which is really exciting because that's offering better protection and less irritation on the skin. This does not contain any artificial fragrance or essential oils. SKIN1004 is really a brand that focuses in on centella, which is one of my favorite ingredients, and I know you guys really love it too. Now, when it comes to sunscreens, you know, I'm really interested in the filters that are being used here. And I mean, these are very compelling filters offering really good protection. But I have to say, adding centella into a sunscreen is intriguing because while centella definitely helps to soothe the skin, it is a very good potent antioxidant. Now, you know that pairing antioxidants with sunscreen is really great to kind of up your protection. Antioxidants help to protect the skin from free radicals and from UV damage on the skin. And that means it's a great partner with sunscreen filters. So it's really nice to see them not only using all of the, you know, the new generation chemical filters, it's great to see them pairing it with a strong antioxidant like centella. Now, let me point out the T-butyl alcohol in this formulation because technically speaking, this is denatured alcohol and it is classified as a fragrance. But I do find that this does not act like other denatured alcohols. It is not classified as antibacterial or as an astringent like denatured alcohol is in the INCI. So this ingredient is a little bit different, and what it does is it actually helps to mask other skincare smells, you know, that like raw skincare smell, which can sometimes be quite unpleasant, especially when there's no other fragrance components present in the formula. You're going to get a very like heavy sunscreen smell, right? Not everybody really appreciates that. So that's part of what this ingredient is doing. It's kind of mellowing out that raw like sunscreen smell. It is also an ingredient that's going to help with the dry time of your sunscreen, which is actually incredibly important, right? Because you know that sunscreen protection is really all about the sunscreen forming a film on your skin. And that film forming happens in between applying the sunscreen and the sunscreen settling and drying on your skin. So if you're somebody who likes to go in with makeup, especially right after you apply sunscreen, it is possible that you're disturbing that protection if that sunscreen has not formed a film yet. So that's where T-butyl alcohol kind of comes in and helps to speed that process up and make things a lot more convenient for us, because you definitely do need to allow your sunscreen to dry on your skin in order to get that full protection. So I do find that it is actually doing some good work here in the formula, but it is technically denatured alcohol. Now, you know me, I actually have sensitivities to denatured alcohol. It makes my skin feel kind of dry and dehydrated and a little bit itchy. Oddly, I've not had a problem with this ingredient, and this is not unique to SKIN1004. I've found this in other sunscreens that contain T-butyl alcohol, and it always usually goes under my radar when I'm looking for drying alcohol in formulations, because I'm like, oh yeah, that one's fine. I don't know why. I don't know why it doesn't bug my skin. Like I mentioned before, it's not astringent, and it is not a antibacterial denatured alcohol, so I'm wondering if it's just a gentler form, but still technically denatured. I don't know. I am not a chemist. I can only speak from my experience. I wanted to bring it up. I wanted to talk about it because I know a lot of you guys also have sensitive skin and may react badly to denatured alcohol. You definitely need to know about this ingredient. It may not work for the most sensitive skin out there, but it's definitely playing a good role in this sunscreen, especially when it comes to dry time. There are some differences, as you noticed, in the ingredients, but not big ones. So I really think that this or that is going to come down to the different textures that each formula is providing. So let's check them out. So let's try out the Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel. So this is kind of like a cream gel type of texture. I do think this really lives up to its name as being kind of watery, gel-like, thin, weightless on the skin. It does have a hydrating effect. As you work it into your skin, you're going to feel a little bit of that hydration, and it does have a little bit of emolliency, but honestly, it is very light. So it absorbs and dries down really fast, which I totally appreciate, especially for, you know, when you're short on time in the morning. You will notice a little bit of a dewy finish. You can see that there is a little bit of shine, a little bit of dew here, but all in all, it's a very light wearing. It's very comfortable and breathable. There's no white cast detected. It applies really easily. It does not pill on the skin or on reapplication. And I do think that this is going to be most appropriate for like oily to combination skin types, because it is just so light and breathable with very minimal like moisturization on the skin. But definitely if you like a matter kind of a look, this may not be for you. All right, now let's try out the Beauty of Joseon Relief Sun Rice Plus Probiotics. Now, as you can see, this is a little bit of a thicker texture. I find this to still be very comfortable on my combination skin, but we're definitely getting a little bit more moisturization. This is definitely a lotion type of sunscreen, and I think this is actually a really nice one if you like to replace your moisturizer with a sunscreen product in the morning to save on steps and on time. This actually performs really nicely for that because it does offer a good amount of moisturization, just a hint of hydration to the skin. This also has really good application. It spreads nicely. It does absorb in with no white cast. The dry time on this, it takes a little bit more time for it to dry, but honestly, it is not too bad, maybe about 10 minutes or so for it to really fully settle into the skin. And while it is moisturizing, I would say this is about medium weight on the skin. Like I said, on combination skin, it feels really nice because it offers just that little bit of moisturization that my skin really appreciates without being super greasy or like super emollient. It's got that really elegant texture to it. And I do think that combination dry skin types are really going to appreciate the lotion consistency of this sunscreen. And you will notice we are building up a little bit more dew on the skin as well. So really no white cast on my skin. I do notice sometimes when I reapply this generously, if I really look hard, maybe there's a little bit of like a sunscreen look to my skin, but this is honestly still very melanin friendly in my opinion. It doesn't pill on reapplication, and I think that it feels really comfy on the skin as well. All right, let's try out the SKIN1004 Hyalu-Cica Water Fit Sun Serum. So this is kind of like a water gel type of sunscreen texture. It's definitely very thin, very light on the skin with a little bit of that hydrating factor to it and very minimal on the moisturization. So you can see that it spreads really nicely on the skin. It's not too thick at all. It's just like absorbing in right away. It feels really weightless on my skin. And I'm not detecting a white cast on this. It is spreading really nicely. When I reapply this, I'm not getting any pilling. It's worked really nice under makeup as well. So one of the big bonuses with this sunscreen is it dries on the skin really quickly. So you can go in with your makeup a lot faster because it just settles into the skin much quicker. And I mean, that really comes down to the T-butyl alcohol. It really does help with the dry time, which is great when you're short on time in the morning. And I do find this to be kind of like a neutral finish. Like it doesn't really add a lot of dewiness or shininess to your skin, but it's not like really mattifying either. I think it just works with what you already got. I have a little bit of dew from my skincare, but honestly, this is very neutral, very easy to work with. I don't feel greasy, and it honestly just feels so weightless on the skin. So this is really going to be my recommendation for those who are a little bit on the oilier side, because you definitely do want a neutral finish with your sunscreen, right? And I think even combination skin folks are going to enjoy this one too, because it doesn't overwhelm either area, the oily areas or the dry areas either. This is not a drying sunscreen. So definitely really weightless on the skin with a really great quick dry time. So this or that. I do think that there's really two deciding factors here between all three of these sunscreens. And the first one is ingredients. I do really believe that the newer generation chemical filters are just superior overall. So Beauty of Joseon and SKIN1004 are definitely offering much more compelling formulations in my mind when it comes to the SPF protection. Like I mentioned earlier, some of the older generation filters are known to be unstable, meaning that they can break down in the presence of UV, not really offering your skin the best protection from the sun. But with the newer generation filters, like I said, they've really improved upon the drawbacks of the older generation filters, and they're offering superior protection. I mean, I'm going to highlight in red one ingredient here because I don't want to pronounce it. This ingredient actually loses 10% of its SPF powers and protection after 25 hours. 25 hours, 10% of its SPF coverage has been lost. So this is like incredibly photo stable. Just this one ingredient alone is offering so much SPF protection that is not breaking down on you. So you see where I'm saying, like, these are just more compelling SPF filters to use. And speaking from personal experience, I've been testing a lot of sunscreens lately. If you haven't noticed, there's been a lot of reviews, and the older generation filters have been bugging my skin even more than they usually do. I've been having issues, especially around my eyes during allergy season with the older generation filters, just starting to irritate my eyes, making them water up, making them kind of blurry. And some of them have actually caused reactions on my skin, unfortunately. I just have not had that problem with the Beauty of Joseon or the SKIN1004, and it just comes down to those newer generation filters being more superior. So if you're really looking for better protection skin, or, you know, filters that are less likely to irritate your skin, I really do think that Beauty of Joseon and SKIN1004 deliver on superior ingredients. Now, between these two, the difference comes down to the texture, because remember when I was applying the Beauty of Joseon, I really told you it's a lot more moisturizing. It could be a moisturizer replacement for a lot of people, and it's got a more lotion-like consistency, making it more appropriate for those who need more moisture on their skin, like combination skin or even dry skin. And it really was my go-to all winter long when my combo skin goes very, very dry. I appreciated the extra moisture that was providing my skin. Now, SKIN1004 is so much lighter with that almost gel type of texture. It's so weightless on the skin, and that tea butyl alcohol, you know, whatever you feel about denatured alcohol, I really do feel like it plays a great part in sunscreens when it comes to dry time, because this just absorbs into the skin so quickly and it dries so quickly without a shiny finish, which, you know, not everybody wants their sunscreen to give them that dewy, shiny look. So if you're looking for something maybe a little bit more on the neutral to matte side, something that's going to feel a lot more weightless, that's not really providing moisture to the skin, then SKIN1004 is going to be better for you, especially if you're more oily skin typed or combo, but leaning more on the oily side. Now, the second consideration is if you like a sunscreen that is like weightless on the skin, super, super light. That's where Isntree comes back into the competition a little bit, because it's got that really wonderful hydrating light gel texture. Like SKIN1004, also offering a gel texture. So between these two, I think it's just going to come down to the finish, because both feel amazingly lightweight on the skin. If I had to like go real minute, I would say maybe SKIN1004 is actually just a touch lighter on the skin. I think that just comes down to the fact that it dries faster on the skin without that that kind of dewy look or that shiny look. And that's the big difference here, because that fine line, right, between dewy glass skin, like juicy, bouncy look on your skin, and straight up greasy and shiny and like disco ball, grease ball, that fine line is very fine, and it's a little bit different for everybody, right? So if you're somebody who really likes something very, very light without shine, not adding anything extra to your skin, go for SKIN1004, because there's really no finish on it. I'm actually wearing it under my makeup, and you can see like it's not really like adding a lot of dew. It's not like breaking through my makeup or looking even kind of greasy, like some sunscreens can do that. So if you're just looking for a really neutral finish with a weightless feel on the skin, I honestly do think SKIN1004 is better for that. But if you're somebody who likes that gel, hydrating, light, weightless feel with a little bit of that glass skin look, then Isntree's got your back. So if you want to check any of these sunscreens out, I do have easy links in the description box for you, so you can easily check them out, add them to the cart, add them to your wish list if you want. I am curious, have you tried any of these sunscreens yet, or are you planning to? Let me know in the comments. Again, a big thank you to SKIN1004 for sponsoring today's video. And if this did help you, if this comparison helped you make a decision, I would love it if you would hit subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. I release a lot of new videos just like this one, so make sure to turn on notifications too, so you're never out of the loop. I hope you guys are healthy, happy, and safe, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. I love you so much. Bye.